Welcome back. India yesterday created history as Chandrayaan-3 did that soft landing on the moon, becoming the first nation to land a probe on the southern pole of the moon and the fourth nation overall in the elite club to land on the moon. MTAR Technologies is one of the companies which is among the key supplier behind this mission. They played a crucial role by supplying Vikas engines, cryogenic engine subsystems as well. To discuss more opportunities in the Indian space sector, we are joined by Srinivas Reddy, the Managing Director at MTAR Technologies. Mr. Reddy, good morning and congratulations to you and your entire team as well. You had as big a part to play in the success of the soft landing because of the kind of service that you've provided in terms of the supply of engines, etc. But can you tell us what is the, from a shareholder's perspective, what is the quantum of the order that you received and executed for this mission?
No, we can't. We have actually supplied the major systems for the mission, right from the liquid propulsion engines for second stage, then the cryo engines, the complete turbo pumps, injector heads, gas generators, which form the core of the cryo engines, and various other valves and safety couplers, etc. So these are the main part of the total initial launch of the vehicle, and at the later stage, the third stage of the launch vehicle. So what we should understand is this has been years and years of research done by the ISRO scientists, and MTAR also joined hands with them in terms of actually converting the designs together into manufacturing of these systems for them. And this is something really exciting for us, and obviously I have to congratulate the chairman ISRO and the team of scientists who are behind this, learning from what happened in Chandrayaan-2 and how they have managed to correct certain things and make it happen this time.
Absolutely. No, I completely understand that this is a industry which has a very long gestation period as well. And now finally, things are seeing fruition. But just wanted to understand from your company perspective, right? I think the last time when you spoke with us, you said that you're targeting revenues in the space segment at about 70 crores by the end of FY24. Do you stick to that target? And what is the order visibility like? What are the kind of opportunities that you're getting in this segment?
So obviously, the kind of launches which are planned moving forward is something which is a lot of great encouragement for ISRO as well, in terms of, I guess, for budget allocations from the central government as such, for the kind of achievements they have done. And we already have a set plan for this year for 70 crores, but that's please remember that's only the material is issued free of cost from ISRO itself. It's only the value addition we're talking about here. And then moving forward, we would definitely see a lot more launches happening in terms of what ISRO can do. And we have very important critical launches moving forward, as well as Chairman of ISRO has mentioned earlier regarding Gaganyaan and other launches that we're talking about. So it will definitely help MTAR to expand its scope of business moving forward with ISRO. And also remember that we are because of privatization is what the government is looking at, and ISRO is giving a great support to us already for our SSLV design and development of the launch vehicle, which we have already started about 8 months back. So that's going to be another game changer for us in terms of developing that launch vehicle for the markets for various customers in the future.
Mr. Reddy, hi, good morning and congratulations from all of us for being part of this. Prashant this side. Just a quick word, sir. Just actually a couple of questions, but not just limited to you. We have the... first, let me understand, out of the total cost of Chandrayaan, which is 600 plus odd crores, right? Which was stated by ISRO earlier. There is cost of course, parts, and then there is launch expenses, which also would be substantial. What is the total sort of involvement of the private sector, if you can kind of tell us in numbers? Just an approximate number. How much work would have been contracted out of the private sector, out of the 600 crores?
As you have seen earlier, everything is 100% indigenized. There's nothing that
No.
ISRO
I'm saying, correct, to the private sector. Yeah, correct. So how much
Yeah,
of
that's
it
what
would
I'm
be,
saying.
so all of it would be private sector, the
All of
manufacturer.
it is backed up by the private sector from various companies like L&T, HAL, MTAR, Centrum. So different companies are involved in this
Okay.
for different requirements. So it's completely manufactured within India by various private companies.
Okay. And as a between the cost of sort of manufacturing parts, equipment, etc., and launch expenses would, which is also substantial, that would be incurred by the government, is it? Or that
The launch
also is,
expenses, yes, the launch pad is obviously the launch
yeah.
expenses are incurred by the government. We're just talking about the hardware and the
And usually,
software.
what is the split between both?
We won't have that idea at all. What exactly would be the split, which is not given to us, but that's something which ISRO needs to address.
Okay. Sir, in April of this year, the cabinet had approved the space policy in which, they said that, well, ISRO will not be involved in, they'll conduct sort of development and technology, and etc. They said private sector will participate in a big way. Operational aspects will be taken care of by the Department of Space. Does that change anything in terms of how you've been working? And what is the thrust of that policy for the private sector, really?
Basically, ISRO was coordinating everything in terms of sourcing the various systems from different private companies earlier. So what government is looking at is for ISRO to focus more on the R&D, and obviously these two activities will go parallelly. I don't think there'll be any stoppage from ISRO launching or coordinating with various requirements that they need. But also there'll be a complete support to the private sector to manufacture the entire systems independently and then take it forward. So both activities would run parallel at least for the next 5 to 10 years. That's what I feel.
Okay. So can you help us with some numbers just to understand? I didn't get what the updated order book is that the company is sitting on currently, and what kind of execution timelines are we looking at? What all can you execute in the next 1 to 2 years, which may perhaps show through in your revenues?
I mentioned this earlier. We have an order book of, as of June 30th, of 100 crores and odd. We are looking at about 80% of the orders getting executed this year itself. So that's why we said we gave a guidance of 45 to 50%, 830 to 860 crores of revenue guidance moving forward.
830 to 860 crores would be in FY24, correct?
That's right.
Okay, so and what is the guidance for FY25? What kind of growth, sustainable growth can you look at?
No, we are looking at probably 25 to 30% of revenue growth year on year. We have going to get many orders moving forward in the next 3 quarters, as I mentioned. We'll end up with an order book closing of about 1,500 crores by end of this year.
Okay, all right. Hi, Mr. Reddy. Good morning. I recall when you came out with an IPO, we had a chat and you said the potential is tremendous. And that's showing both in your financials as well as in the stock price. But give us a couple of more details. We got the top line growth. What about margins? They came in a little below the 25%, but you've maintained, you see it move closer to the high 20s. So do you maintain that guidance? Point number one. And also the working capital days, you were guiding that things will improve. Is that the case as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I did mention that the margins moving forward will definitely improve, and we will come closer to what we have guided for, 28% plus minus 100 basis points. As I mentioned earlier, the second half of the year is much stronger than the first half. So our margins will definitely improve. I confirm the same guidance as of today. And working capital number of days, basically, we are working towards it on a consistent basis. And we're hoping to bring it down below 200 days by end of the year. And that's what this industry actually requires, that because we're dealing with a lot of long cycle and a combination of short cycle systems that we're working with various organizations within India.
Sure. Just one final question. This 25 to 30% revenue growth that you're looking at from here on, You've recently signed an MOU with InSpace as well, right? The Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center. Any revenue, any kind of monetization from that, any revenue potential, and have you added that into this, prognosis?
No, we have not added that. See, that's for the development of the small satellite launch vehicle, which we are working on, as I mentioned earlier, which would take about 4 years to develop the launch vehicle. So that's something which we are working with a lot of passion. A team of engineers are working on it. In most probably by end of this year, we're looking at testing our first of our engines. So we are progressing pretty well there. So that's something which you'll see the results probably in 4 years' time from now. So that's for the small satellite launch vehicle that we're working on, which I mentioned earlier.
Okay, all right, Mr. Reddy. Thanks so much for stopping by and giving us that outlook on your business as well as how the country is shaping up in this particular vertical. Wishing you all the best and congratulations on being part of this big mission.